Ke a le dumedisa ka lebitso la Morena Jesu Kriste, Morena wa ka a mpholositseng ka 2010 ha meleko e le mekana o nahana hore ke be santse ke phela. Ha e ne e se ka Morena Jesu, a se ka bohlale. Lentswe la Modimo le reng ha se ka tsebo, ha se ka bohlale, ha se ka matla, le nepile ke ka mohau. Ha se ka hobane nna le wena o na le ntho e re entseng. The difference between nna le wena le motho a tsamayang seterateng mo le a nwele ke Morena Jesu. Ngwaneso, ha re ka fela ra se ke ra lebala. Ke le dumedisa ke re a buang le lona ke mme Mahlangu, a nyetsweng ha Mahlangu ke moradi a Phiri. Ke rata ho bua seshweshwe, ke moshweshwe itse ke Motswana. Ke ba kae Batswana ba kae? Ai ba gaetsong a ke itse gore na re ba shweshwe ba or gate ke ba tsa kae. Ke jakile ka le menna ken ga go a siama. Ka je re tlo bula Ruth 3:15. We are moving, re itukisetsa lenyalo. A ke re ha re tsebe ho bua fela ka lenyalo re sa itukise. Ha re sa itukisa lenyalo le re thola re eme fela. Ene ntho ha o fua o sa itukisetsa yona a yo sebeletse. Re butse Ruth 3:15. No, I'm sorry, verse 1. 3:1-5. Ke kopa e bala. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for you, that it may be well with you? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens you were? Behold, he winnows barley tonight in the threshing floor. Wash yourself, therefore, and anoint yourself, and put your best clothes upon you, and get down to the floor. But make not yourself known unto the men until he shall have finished eating and drinking. And it shall be, when he lies down, that you shall mark the place where he shall lie, and you shall go in, and uncover his feet and lay down, and he will tell you what you shall do. And she said unto her, All that you say unto me I'll do. I will do. An obedient young girl. Kaofela re a tseba story sa Ruth ya ke re bana beso. A very nice young woman, a lahlehetsweng ke monna, with her mother-in-law, still obedient to this foreign woman. She still sees her. I think at this point in time, she sees her as her own mother, because Naomi is able to tell her what to do, and she does exactly that. She doesn't say, Ngoba angisumntanakho, vele befanele ungithengise. Now we're preparing for a resting place after having gone through rough patch. Marriage is a resting place. What is it that hinders rest in marriage? We mostly prepare for a wedding day, don't we? But no one ever prepares for a marriage. Again, preparing starts long before your wedding day. While waiting, you are preparing yourself for a brand new life. You have never, even if it happened that you were married before, but in the marriage that you'll be getting into, that's a brand new marriage on that day. Ruth is prepared promptly by Naomi. Obedience helps her. She is mentored well because she listens and does exactly that. Steps of preparation. She washes her face. What is washing your face spiritually? Removes your scar of yesterday. She has got a brand new face. She is told to perfume yourself. She puts on a new glow around you. That's what you do when you prepare yourself. You remove scars of yesterday. You put a glow around you. And her mother-in-law says, put on new clothes. Her best, she says. Change your outlook. Look your age. I get it. And then she says, go to that place. Go to your threshing floor to wait for your harvest. You are waiting, but you're not waiting in vain. You're waiting for a harvest. You believe in what you're waiting for. That is why you're sacrificing. That is why you're doing exactly the way God wants you to do it. Because you know that there are benefits in God, don't we? Waiting. While waiting, God is removing chaff from you and from your future spouse. Allow God to do it, not you. Are you able to do it? I think if we were, we wouldn't be here, and there would not be brides in waiting. I get it. So we allow God to take all the debt. La itse a etswa manually etsuwa jwang akere. Ha ba nka moseme ka Setswana, ba etsa so. Akere. So that chaff ya tswa ho sala what is needed. So you are doing exactly that ko wena. You are doing it spiritually, physically and all. You are cleansing you. You are making you new for somebody that is brand new in your life. The nicest part is whilst you're doing that and allowing God to do that, because you are not able to do it, God is doing the same to your future spouse, whom you do not know. Because you are human, you are unable to see into the spirit. But God is doing that. And like Mema Sobi has said, you don't know time. So some things are godly. They are not for men to know. Don't make yourself noticeable, she says. What does it mean? Learn to be quiet when things are not going your way. You know how we talk? Especially Runane. We talk a lot. We talk, and you know when you talk, at times you offend God. And what we don't notice is that when we talk, it is seed that we are planting. And when they germinate, we are baffled by what comes out. But it is exactly what we put on. So we need to talk positive to us. We need to check what we're talking. I get about Kopareko Lamentations 3:25-26. Kitlo ibala. Before ke ibala, I want you to look at yourself. And I want you to hold your two hands with nothing, only your hands. And softly brush your hands. They are nice and feather soft hands because you are a woman. Every time you look at yourself, realize that I am made soft. I'm a softer being. I need to be this soft for somebody hard. So love this soft person and take care of her. She is fragile for a purpose. The Lord is wonderfully good to those who wait for him and seek him. So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. I get it. Patience and endurance is what you need now. So you will continue to do God's will. Then you will receive all that God has promised. Hebrews 10:36. Don't allow anxiety to take over godly waiting. Ne? Patience will help you to wait a worthwhile waiting in God. When age seems to catch up with you, never allow yourself to be tempted to settle for something less than God would have given, e.g. marrying someone abusive. And I realized and I knew that Mudimo ubua le rona. Now, it is not easy to be single, but it can be done. It is more nicer to wait in God, because when you are waiting in the Lord, you are able to perceive when this man comes to you. You will know God will give you peace. The day you meet a right spouse, God will give you peace about this man. And this is what people say when they say, I nearly married the wrong guy. What stopped them is that there was no peace. And at times when we force things because of pressures, of family, of friends, of whatever, worldly pressures, we find ourselves marrying wrong people for the sake of marrying, because and as ngoba Satan like celebrating prematurely, people start saying, Muhle, unefika, ufundile, uyiphethe kahle, lenyalo do. Now, you are not listening to God. You stoop so low. Utshwana le batho ba. O nyalla go ba bontsha gore nna ke ganele vase. And wa bona ntwa o eletsa batho ya puta. When you are abused in this relationship, you are going to learn to do what the world does. You endure abuse because ma ungakhuluma bazothini uri ko yena Thabo ayikuthi ngithi ungangishayi bengithi ungangishayi ubuso uyehle nami ngoba ngizogqoka. Uyayithola ne? It is right, abuse me, but please bangaboni. I'll put on makeup, I'll be nice. No one is going to see. Now when you prepare for marriage, you look into loopholes, you look at people, you look at things, you listen to God, you read the word, so that you know exactly what not to do and what to do. You learn to be obedient because today's life does not allow us to. Our children from age 6, 8 years, no, mommy, no, mommy, I don't think I'm supposed to do that. So we learn and say, I can't nete bo mama. Mama wa itse batho mamodimo or mama o nagana re dithaka tsa bone. Phela rona ba phela gona no phela. Akere. But you know there is nothing, there's no difference between wena le mosadi wa 90 years o nyetseng. Between wena le mama Bena, ha gona difference. Le nto ba expect you go mama Bena is expected of you. And when you house na modimo, you are taken from your belief slowly. You see, but how about when you get married? At times your husband is born again, yes. But his family cannot go through to him how they use you. Because when umako difanele like hayulale lumthetho. So makufika wena bathi yazini. Upule ningabe nabantwana nje. Samtshele azupule ukuthi azabe khona ugogo wathandaza wayenzani wacela bani. You are desperate akere. Akere. Bible ra hona motho a nyoriweng or a tswileng ya ka popelo e soka nge bana le ngwana. Go Bible akere. Now, lo ena so dutse re maravele man. E seng gore vela ha re ka re gaiwane fela. Re tla kopa modimo tshwarelo. O kgelosa monna o. You are not married wena ko lenyalong to be a curse in that marriage. You are not married in that marriage. You are there to stand. And as a woman, you are there to make it happen. These people must look at you and say, Ikona lento. Yabona ihlula lento mbozana nganamntana ngiyambona ukuthi uyamfuna umntana. Mara noma ngimtshela lento yasho ukuthi mama makube ukuthi angibaphiwa ngakulungile. Leyo yona ngeke ngize ngiyenze. No matter how modern, don't initiate a relationship. And we are preparing ourselves. We are waiting. So in our waiting, at times, so I maravel and nakiahola man. Nalitawo kante kanyale because I've got a salary that allows me to have a house, a car, whatever. So if Thabo ngatu thandu to swayile zinto, ngamuphi imali? Gayi imali manje lo muntu angilobole ndaba kabani. So when tempted, don't. It's not just me saying, but God himself made a man first to be head of the house. He is not just a man made before you, but he's a man because he's going to cover you. And you see, when a woman takes over things, bane show off. Because aksinto yako. You are not supposed to be. You are at a wrong place. You buy a Mercedes-Benz and then Thabo is driving a Toyota. You don't even notice the difference. And you drive the Mercedes-Benz with pride and abantu bathi lo kuphethe umfazi lapha. Lo ungambona nje. Na nix. Now, yes, you've got a marriage. For those who don't know, you are married. But for those who know, they know that le khandile. We khandile le ntombazana. Phekiwe le bhodo ayikho le ndoda, it's nothing. Uyambona nje lona umpha imoto mhla afuna. Because awunabuhlale bamudimo. You cannot see simple things ezaziwa abantu abangafundanga. Ukuthi ubaba akakafiki. Asizukuyenza into ethize simele ubaba. When you do because you can, you are financially independent. And mina uThabo angacabanga ukuthi ushadisa ilima. But the most important preparation is for this, especially this, Tumi actually. The head part, psychology transition. What you know, what you see, what has made you successful, what has made you do whatever, must turn around. In your house, you must turn around and say, La, ngozoba islima sakathabo. And mawuba islima sakathabo, willingly, you are not forced. Willingly giving yourself to a husband and willingly umthobela. Ukuthobela umuntu doesn't mean to be enslaved by somebody. But it is allowing yourself to be feminine. You see, the other thing about not being able to humble yourself before your husband is that femininity in you goes away and you are not aware. You become masculine. You make makeup or faga in wenzani, but when you stand when you talk with authority and people are wondering, Kathabo la no magalu. Men are supposed to take care of us, not us taking care of them. So let's not complicate things. Manghamba la endleleni kunestyle esisha ngisibonile ngithi hayi shuthi izinto zayenzeka. I know ukuthi umhlaba rough and into zayenzeka nabantu babambana inkunzi ziningi izinto ezenzekayo. Ufita couple batsamaya batho ba yi2 handbag itshwere ke monna. Wa itse handbag. Hey, caray, chesa. Handbag itshwere ke mandla nna bona. Ai le gore taba gore handbag e na le tšhelete. Ao ba fethu nka tšhelete we fe mandla. Ai tshware bag o nne le kgarebe. Handbag ke a hao. So monna ona ka re style o tshwere bag o a tsa mo ipotsa gore ke eng go etsagalang. And people think it is showing for one rat. How rat? When I did it, was a ritual and sailing out. Why bon? So eventually, you put where's a halentato bag? Hey, but one of them are it. Mara, it starts with little things like that. Yabanuti and back, you don't even notice. Sagabambi bekos or bambezing isn't. And when a man, my bambi back, there's something else with bamb. Engafanele iphatho. Any Bible isifundise yabona uNkulunkulu wayenza kahle. Waqala wayenza ubaba. Yabona leyo singajumpa sithini Beijing sibuye siye kuphi sithini wayenza ubaba kuqala ubaba yena self wayenza ubaba kuqala. Wamenza futhi waba masculine. Wayenza wena ukuthi ube feminine. So that you complete each other. Tina siyajiga sithatha into zomhlaba, we think ukuthi iBhayibheli it's old fashioned. Kanti iBhayibheli leyasemandulo usaseyona. The same laws zaka Moses zisaselakit. uNkulunkulu wants us to adhere to that and to understand him as God. And when you approach him as a woman, God is able to hear you. Because kusho ukuthi noma uthandaza mawuthandaza umile wena ubaba kwakhwalele kuwe o plead the blood of Jesus around the house uNkulunkulu uyabuza ukuthi yalala indoda lo wenzani. So allow your husband to be a man angathi kwebothi ngizothandaza. Sithi singathi siyathandaza so jumpile wena. So fanele sibe very careful. Thina siyaphapha vela bomama bayaphapha uyakwazi lo. Mantombazana abantwana becrash umfana nentombazana bayi2. Mawungababeka la. Lo wentombazana same age. Lo uyambona umacinasi. So when amawuhola ukundlula indoda yakho next door izobona ukuthi uyazi la lo sisi uye uye. Noma ukhuluma usana timing awusaboni noma abantu bakabothabo bakhona. My husband ke mandla lesikari khona lethabo. I like making up names. Sebakhona abantu bakabomandla then nabo abantu bakabomandla bahleli. So umile Mandla. I'm thinking no. Abo baba mncane bavakashile yebo but no, I'm not going to cook. Cabanga ukuthi bayise spares. Awusana decency yokuthi uthi kuMandla. Eceleni mukhatsaka ke khathetse matebele alona ya kae. What's king? Rehetsen ko ba rekele di batla re. Akere he knows them better. So he'll tell you gore yazini uthi bangaboni wena pheki papa. Mina ngithi tshwe espace. Mangibuya sithi lama ribs phezu kwepapa hayi bathi uphekile umakoti. Ubheize. Hayi wena sabasukume labantu laba abayazi lento. Nase space don't think you have impressed them. Uphatala ngamakhathi bashebile bathuthi. Uyabona le story samama zalathi umakoti umosha imali yomntana masemaka. Bathi kusho ukuthi akuphekwa kaMandla akuphekwa kuhlala isilungu uMandla uzohlala nganamali lo yamfaza akadlala akapheki noma sebona nikhona nihloba kanamahloni abesuthu usesisumula nje athi siya space asikhonanga nokubese uhlala phi sixoxe njani sihlele manje e-restaurant abantu bayarasa asinento besizele sayikhohle ngalo umsuthu lo phaphayo. While in waiting, wait in prayer. Why do we wait in prayer? Because in praying, whilst we're waiting, we're molding our prospective spouses. We're asking God to say, my God, I am waiting, it is not easy. I am waiting, and because I envy things at times. And I know it is wrong. Now, Father, I'm praying that let me realize that it is not yet my time. Help me, Father. But you know what, God? I know that you are not going to fail me. And that is when you trust God. Easy. Because by the way, even if you are to be impatient with God, you are not doing God a favor. You are just going when you was limaza, because when you are not going to perceive a simple thing, ebe izobona umuntu nje wena nyeke uyibone uyobona indoda. Naso uphakathi nendawo bese uyabuya futhi uthi amangalo yabona ukuthi at times confuse uNkulunkulu. uNkulunkulu amangalo ukuthi mara khantle motho ujwa. So utsameile sebaka so ufihla kwena o so uphamula. Kup ari altari. In your prayer and in your desperation, because linyalo limunati, and also nyale vele, umutu, you must have this thing of wanting to get married. Never ever bargain with God. Don't. God knows the time. Believe that God knows the time. Stop saying to God, yabona ke, manje baba wangipha umshado ngempela manje mawungangipha umshado mina ngeke ngisayenza 7 8 9. It is ungodly. Or mawungangipha umshado ngizoyenza so. The book of Genesis, Jephthah, a great man of God, bargains with God because he was rejected by his family. He was not of the same father as his brothers. His brothers throw him out. He comes out, he becomes a warrior of war. Asked by the Israelites when they are about to be molded down to come and help, he comes in as a great soldier and he fights and he wins. But before he goes to war, Having asked God, because Jephthah loves God, he says to God, God, if you give me this battle, the first thing that I see when I get to my house, I'll sacrifice it for you. Guess what? He walks into his yard, his little girl. He had one child, a little girl. And the little girl takes a cymborine and hallelujahs his father. He made a promise with God. He said the first thing, it's his daughter. What Jephthah did not realize is that he prayed to God and God had heard him. Prayer is enough for God. Auna ntwere ka efa modimo e fetang thapelo hore wane ke rapetse modimo mare ke mo nka ra unkutlo wa itse keng ka nnete jwanong ke tla etsa so. You are wondering, did Jephthah sacrifice her daughter? Yes. Did he kill her? No. Because God doesn't want human sacrifice. But that child had to go to a mountain for 2 years to wail for her virginity, because she was never going to be married. She had to go into the temple of God and work for God for the rest of her life. Sacrificed to God. So that's why we cannot bargain with God. We can but pray to God. We can but believe that God hears us. It may not be time, it may be tarrying, but God knows why. He knows better. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows that maybe you are not yet ready for marriage, because it can never help you to get married when you are not ready. You are getting married to somebody different from you. Their expectations are not your expectations. That is why you need God's wisdom to understand this person that I don't know. Stay-eyed with him, because kusase boyfriend yam vele manjola ningabantu umnandi during courtship. You are not sharing anything. Why must you fight? Unemali yakho nginemali yami. Masithi asiye eMonte Casino we go. Asiye ema movies we go. Okay. Now we are in a house. There's budget. There's kids. There's so much. It is not easy to just agree to say, okay, ngoba uthengi cruiser mina nizonza in and I'll sacrifice. Little things, but when you are mature, you realize and you know, I think I talked wrong because I was emotional. And because I'm his wife, and God says me, you go and say, Mandla, I'm sorry. I did not talk right with you. And people say, anyege, anjwayela kabi. Babona lo wami angangijwayela kabi kusho ukuthi lapho ke angangenza into yakhe yokudlala. Angakwenza into yakhe yokudlala. You know, some people get married and stay in a marriage, but these two people in their heart of hearts, they know what abasashada. Because this other one has turned into a man. And now this other one wonders, the poor man is tempted because now, when he looks around, uzobona abafazi. Bamhlonipha ngisho emsebenzini ari awu morena ka re nkebele mosadi ya. Kwa bona re etsa modiko. So ka nnete ari thuse. Ari bueng le borona. In these difficult times, modern times where people do things and they do them and they work for them and people look at them and they say, I think I would love to have a marriage like that. A friend of mine who's not born again says to me, hey, these two people are from, the other one is divorced, the man, and this girl is in love with him. They are married rather. She says to me, yazi bayenzani ngithini uthi baya Africa. And then bahlala eNorth Cliff. And then bahlangana endlini every morning of 4 Sundays, meaning if it's Friday, Saturday, nange Sunday, 4 a.m. omunye uyangena ngemoto yakhe nomunye uyangena. And she was telling me that, and I said to her, akukho umshado lapho. And she says, ha Tumi, mani stay if phela ngacabula abantu they agree. Bodumelana, and it's right, and kusharp. You know, it did not take a month and they were divorcing, and I said to her, what makes a man to walk out of this house till 4 a.m. Luena and as worry to Ruena Kukai? And I sit again and we don't again, they are not born again. But now bontate, whether born again or not, he know is standing sakhe. Uyayazi ukuthi mayabona mina maybe ngahlala till 4. Mari in a right marriage, umfazi utshela indoda ukuthi hayibo silale ngempela ungekho. Who's protecting us? Uyazi solo ngihlola ngefestero, ungavalanga igarage kahle, ngiloko ngithi uyeza. Hayi ke 4 o'clock abashwe omuntu lo mungwile kwayile. Iteng you. Azang, so though we are born again, we live yazi omunye umuntu uyebeka kahle. Uthi I'm a man living in a glass body, meaning le iyabona. This body kiyamahlo ekhona ubona. So because we see such things, though we are born again, at times we can be tempted to think that it is modern marriage where we sit and agree. But if your husband loves you, when he cares for you, he does not want you to do things as right. He becomes jealous, he puts on laws and you know them, and you both do it agreeably. But when you allow things to take over us, abafundisi basithandaza lebaza bacela uxolo kanti khantle Now another thing is, what are you saying to yourself whilst waiting? I am waiting, I've got all these things, I've got all these challenges. What is it that I say to Tumi in waiting? Am I talking positive to me? Or am I every time talking negatives? Mina vele kwasho. Basho nje yazi mina vele. Angikhola yazi nokuthi sengimani nje ngizothini. And amaso ufike kuso sengimani ngizothini ne. Even when a right man comes, wena nje sorry, ay uthi izwe. And this person feels you ukuthi lo muntu yazini i-courtship yethu yona iyahamba mara ngiyambona mana I can't feel ebasho abantu ngisho because umyemethe kuri umushebile so gore why is it ke mona ro tla ka 4 atla ka 4:30 wa utla 4:30 and motho wa batho ha so tlhaloso lo tla the way you mail bumper ra ka teng 4:30 ke mon gore na le ditaba. Now, as women, we are patient. We are taught to be like that. In actual fact, we are a weaker sex, but Tina, we are strong. That's why Nkulunkulu says we build houses. Because Tina, we are supposed to make this work. It is your duty. Because they learn. But when you have done what you had to do. And when utlo right and ubaba na emahlele angabanjani ubaba wakwakho maruto adusero wabana wakamusadi. I know mama friends manje mangathi asambe siye kwami, I can take them. Because kwami ikhaya. Right, my home is warm. We are going to be welcomed. My wife is going to be a wife. How? So you decided to go to Nizela out of all this. Because we're not a slave. So whatever you say to you whilst waiting, remember, you are planting a seed. When you talk positive to you, when you look at yourself and see marriage product, when you look at you and say, hey, jealous. When you talk and say, what's about king? Man, I know he's not going to fail me. I know he's molding a gentleman. I even know why he's taking longer because and now I'm going to glide into my marriage. And you are confident. You're not desperate for marriage. You're not sitting there and wondering and saying, yo, why is it that you don't have a brajo? Kur brajo ay pitala mo. Ay pitala ke rubu akape. Ese mutu itatala mo brajo. Ena brajo ke khetsi kana kwe. Yabana mashata umuntu omthwalo uzomthwala. Uyomthwala kuyozokuyovala. This person becomes a child finally. Uyabona ke siya kaMalume. Usamkhumula uMalume. Joe ngiyacela ngizokuthenga utshwala Masibuya awuke uziphathe please. Because Joe afika kwa ana timing again. Funa Joe le. Kuthi nisindiswe uJoe na uputhu mojwale ke bathobu. Kanti umkhwenyana uyashama. Hey, uthi nyama uphuzile orwenzeni wayidalt kwatsiba. At times when whilst waiting, marriage does not come when you expect it to. And in your disappointment, you kinda barking habewe. You reject marriage. And when you reject something, you switch off. That is why you get people batu shame. Out of nowhere, this person just says, how? Mama. What shame. Husband bayakwazi uzenzisa. Ayikho yonke lento. Yazi why ingekho because wena ushada ngurayi. Until iyenzakalela wena imarriage ikhona. Uyayithola? And it does not work that way. So you are switching off, you're not even aware because whilst you are saying it, you are planting it in you. The danger is when this man, the right man comes as Okshata. Now it's not like you don't have the peace that God gives to somebody when they get a right spouse. By the way, there is nothing. The right man, it is not going to be sensational. There will be peace about this. And then long I'm right now. And why is I give me but I wonder why can you feel it's right? Because it is easy. Change. And he phones and you talk to him and you feel peace. It's like you know him. And even if you go and say, I want to do whatever, you do what Tumi did and say, phone whoever. This person comes confidently, puts his case right before your godmother or your mother or your father. Because we are yazin tayenza. We are katana ukuthi yazin. Unfortunately, I love you and I think I've waited enough. For whatever reason, I love you so much that I feel I want to marry. And I'm marrying you, but I'm not a perfect person. In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so, but I'm born again now. I love God. And that I've faced out of my life. I want a brand new life. I want you to be honest with me. Don't miss the opportunity. Next. You see, we cannot. Ubuzalwana is not ignorance. I see tate again now. Hello, you have prepared for a marriage. Ushadile. This is the night. Yomshad. Anyeke ungitshela ukuthi ngo 8:37 bathwa yes you are a virgin. Yes you are a virgin truly and really. Ka 8:37 wena wa tshwantse go apulo o etsa ditaile. Una le 16 wena. Honesty is not pretending. Again, you are knowledgeable. You are a young adult, a matured woman. You know what's going to happen ka honeymoon. You have not done it, yes. Yes, you are not perfect. But yes, you know that I must bring a lingerie with. And as you lala nalendot. I wonder, I don't know, kitsuhile mara akunata. One thing I trust this man. Yeah, it's all. Hey, kwenze njani? Phuma phela toilet. Hey, ngiyaphuma. Waphuma, kile ukele toilet. You are a virgin. And yes, you are getting married. You need knowledge. You know, love making is so nice. When I grew up, we used to listen to a song, 702, what was it, 702? Radio 5, not 702. Radio 5. And go Radio 5, this song said, I don't want to wake up in the morning feeling guilty about tonight. I want to love you, but when I love you, it has got to be right. Why you can? This is exactly that you are not doing. If no local fasting, you would have slept with this man, made love to him, kana go right, wrong. Now you are doing it at the right time. Do it right. This person is singing a song because it is the wrong time. She is in essence saying, I can't we are told. Now, mutho go nyetso go tlhompile. So mo etsa tsotsi. Eno bona bontate ka tlhago ne. Ka tlhago bontate they can be very nice. Marumo senyetsa nako ka dilo kaofela ha e mo. Mo a go senywi nako. Because now we tshokile bophelo ba ge kaofela kere. Wa mela wena. He is sure and ready that I have done everything that needs to be done. The Bible says Rebecca saw his husband from afar. She was coming with a servant of Abraham, and he could see, and he says, who's that man? And that man that he was seeing was interceding for her. And as they come from afar, he could see, he says, who's that? They say, it's your husband. She takes a veil, closes her face. Meaning she's already respecting this man that she has not even seen close. She is ready for the husband. The same night, she slept with her husband. If you read Genesis 24, the servant goes and says, can we take her? And the parent says, "Ow, but can't you just leave her for a week?" And whilst the brother and the mother says that Rebecca herself, because she's ready, you see, it is not about readiness. She does not know, she's a pure virgin. But one thing about Rebecca, she's at peace with it. That is why people who are saying the camel part is, you don't understand. Rebecca took the strength from peace yamudimo. It was her day. She was meeting her destiny. She had the strength. It was nearly 6. Nearly 6. She didn't say, and offer batho with a smile. And this servant of God intercedes and says to God, thank you, Father. Ke kupile or mosadi o right for ngwana wa my master. And thank you, Kiyo. You see, batwana ba go gae ba re mosadi tshwenujo wa mabogo. You may be whatever you are komsebetsing. But if you are going to get married, and when you get married, you are a trophy wife. Kabo mandla se ba mangele gothi batho umsuthu phelelo. Busho uthi ngesuthu abenzi nix. Uyemiso plus usmatsatsa kere. So uyemiso withi. Khwetsi eng ha uyetsi. Whether you like it or you don't, if you are going to get married to a black man, you are expected to do something. Makshoniwe. Ubu CEO uzobushiye ekhaya. Ubu doctor ubushiye ekhaya. And ungena lapha, you know why ungena lapha ya? Rightfully ushadile kaMahlangu ungena kuzwakale ukuthi wena umakoti wakho. Because when you take a back seat, but abantu buya Soweto phela umakoti kusho ukuthi umkharibo shemakazazi lezinto. Bawona kuri wena ubhari le khomu yazangwa yibona. Ene le batho ba tswa London ba yitse khomu. Yana ba go makaletsa mara o tswa kae? Uyayibona. So become what is expected of you. Understand that, and your husband will be proud of you. You don't understand. He's going to see a side because he knows you to be a softie, a stiletto, manala, But this time, kwena olo wa ibila o tlhaga wa ipotsa, "Hawu yazi bengakuboni." O shapile tuku. One, understandile taba ya respect. Akere. 2, unaganne obedience. 3, you are making him proud. Because by the way, you are going to reflect him. Mawufika kaMahlangu abathu bitumela, abathu awukabi nomntwana. Bathu umngamandla. That's the introduction. So if you are lazy, bathu banike lo obomile sibona bathu. Oh, abomandla bashada besuthu. Uyazi uvela amele ntombazana asibukela ngathi ubona ibiscope. Sisebenza size siqede aphakele kuqala nje namadoda mawaphakela. Wayibona ne? Yile umama wakho ebekutshela athi please mawuzoshada ungangithukisi ngabantu. Uyayibona? Because abasimula baruha kana bar mama hayi. Because you are supposed to have been taught ushwile mama ben. Gore wa ba ruta bana. Uyayithola? Go gae ha ba phega le dombolo, you may not wena ha o le rate le dombolo. Learn go etsa le dombolo not for wena. It is going to help you. Learn go apating not because why rata. But because you don't know what your husband loves. I always make this illustration here, Kalimandla. Romandla is in Ndebele speaking. Nake Motswana. And I would cook all these things. But iputwangi askaswana reje put. Konna, I will always say it said, Mara ijoalo, konna ngarke sawdust. Li today, I get Kenya, Nkomaski Jaya, because I try over, I copan molly liming. I get a geese, I yokohan. But I kept on cooking all these funny things, impressing my husband. Until he said to me, when you're going to tell what you put was we pay. And my husband is very soft. My rasata work I eat I sat really joke. How you need to understand him. You need to know as a woman how to do it and a lily to do. Okay, what do you want to 7 They are taking phones and say, "Hi love, I'm going to be late." You must know I'm going to be late. Let them laugh and say, why you know what you are doing. You stay with your friends until 10 o'clock and you are drifting from your husband, drifting from him. You are starting an impetus. So don't do what your friends do. Wait, knowing. Wait and prepare a life so nice. Sit with your husband, be a blessing to him. I'm going to make that woman happy. And declare in your heart that this man is going to be happy. I am not here to be a curse to his family and everything. Whether they love me or they don't. It is not going to be easy, but God, I know when you are with me. That is why, the same way as you can do that, even in bed you can do that. Enhance. Understand your husband and know that manje isikhathi sokuthi kuyalala. Akuna isikhathi sokuphathwa inhloko nje ezingekho tsamaka tsameferefere tsa di. Hauna nako, there is nothing etlo etsa hore monna go armena. Se se yo lala phela, o ntse o shebisitse ke atla hao. Wa mo utlwa gore a remus. Prepare your bed, make your bedroom beautiful. You see, your bedroom must be something uthi indoda yakho mayingena kuyo azwe kahle ukuthi uza nini loya. Yeah, I told. And you see, that's where the devil catches us. We can listen to people talk about everything. Once people talk about love making, we make it look like sexy kimutlolo. Hantle sex was created by God. For married people. The only wrong about it is sinister. It's when it is done outside. That is why iheta. That's why umuntu mayelala nomuntu angashadanga naye. Bese uyamyeka. Utloma kalor ngonyano na hawo. Muthu asammatla waya samutluka awuhlalukanye. Bo ungekho lo muntu azenza umfazi walo muntu. Mayehlela athi yabana le ndoda ungiqedile kore ke ipotsa butona wa tsa tshwantsa nyale wa ntlogela. And I'm qedile. Because o qedile motho a o skepa every day. And lona le wese ka joko lena le townhouse. Uthi utlo umuntu vele seyindoda yakho. Uthi usathi uhlele sepimbong sokeni. Ko Rustenburg ba re ke ko mme Hamponi. Ko Mokgwase la itse Mokgwase. Ya ba re ke mo mme Hamponi mama ka hayo that is why o tlogetse ko lona ko Soweto. Wa ile dula ko Sunning Hill. Because ko Sunning Hill o duletse o etsa di skank board now. It depends. When I'm often ukuzindlala. Utlo ba phathe ya bona akona bothata. The sick and annoying thing is that even nabantu who are born again discreetly do that. They do it. No wonder HIV. Everybody is wondering why ba superman. No, and you thought you were clever. And you are allowing these young men no wonder abanye abantu abashata because now these young men mayefuna ukushata somebody. What I understand lona why ngayifrustani lento. Ngoba lana sisosontweni isonto liphumile musi. And then why lo astay liphumile isonto. Ngithi ngizokushayela round yini na? Waba stay mntwana kwenze njani? Because laba abanye they allow it. And this man akasakhona ukukhula. La wabona ukuthi it's not just you destroying yourself. It is you destroying even the spirit yalendoda. Because this young man now can never ever be right with God. Women are available. And spirits, no, they are connected. In a big church, they don't have to talk. Connected. All the way frustana relo ya muntu yangfune nami ngiyamfuna. Bajika kakhona abasho. But this young man now understand it is nice. Lana kusesontweni awuzuthola abantu abathi in futhi abazalana they go to school and amabaqeda lapho they are desperate for marriage. They actually think mawumshela ulala naye uzomshada. So ngizobashaya ngale ukuthi hayi mntana vele mina mawungangikhaya nje awusekunjalo. Yielding yourself to him ujakhona. You are unable even to tell people. You see that the worst thing is how do you say konna kine ke ratana le yana umphoqile mariano ntho botlhoko gore na robala lena. Now you are telling me then rona re rapella gore hey ke le timona man phela lona ne setse le tlo nyala mose everybody can see ntho ene se illustrate o re motho wetsa fela austum wa itse keng a fela decide right a tsa ikela setse a re lo tlo ntsha magadi a o bui ya gore khale re khakhatana nna le motho. And now you reach a stage. Say if nele lenyalo ne tla be anong ile gore batho ba tlwaetse or no. Siyazani mina nawe we grow up really too. It is not about making love every day. Obana le fetsa o nyala go a shiwa 3 times a day 4 times in. But you get to a point where things tone down. Not that you don't love each other, but it goes nice. It is not more about sex, but now it is me understanding man. Not that you don't make love, you do make love. But now when you are young, you've just found each other. But the nice part is happy. It's not you know, rape and love making are two different things. When you make love to your husband and your heart is there, whether he turns you around the whole night, my dear, never because this man loves you, you love him back. You look forward to meeting him. Traffic because it's two consenting adults. We are told when you don't do that, when you refrain, even when you are married, how do you get to the pinnacle? Because ukhana ka wena kanti nako no tshwantse o khane ka wena no ntse iphabo mzwaki. Manje you are comparing una le moferefere motho batho wa o tshwara o re yazi umzwakhe bebe badlinza ngomare be bangcono lo uthusindiswe akuthi shu hayi gore akuthi shu kwena go sa reng shu because wena experience has killed you. Uyayibona ubusetsa the memories and you got into the into this relationship, you failed to wash out. I said to you, take off. In your waiting, you are not a virgin. Preparing yourself for marriage. I need to cleanse. Experience, knowledge. Yabana lo butilo. Katalaze kutuenza. Oke munaka o sofasilashan. And then let me tell you, when people make love, handle, people who direct love making, kibasadi. Asiban. Marwena utloyama ukariki mo 21st century. 2 more fats. Arid. You can be creative. Why about to jive? It is like dancing. Eh? Lintoko di mukhashi wa khwetwang go shapa di taele di tumbler wa bona ke bokiba yang. Abash. What is nice is that it is with my husband. And it is right before God. Yeah, and God says, young men, marry young and enjoy the breast of your wives. We are told, God allows it. Manje ubustave bakho uzofaka thinking in. Nale inhloko namanga na zonke lezi zinto gore utswere king, shapa di tumbler. Mpeta ona buthatartara ka matraso mo ga ona taba. Ke lenyalo ha le tsweletse. And that's when you grease your marriage. Because when you don't do that, your marriage is going to rust. It's a rust. Yes, marriage is not just about sex. But if you neglect that one, oh. And anything you neglect, once you stop baking, it's a slow baker. Hey, angsazi ayisuka ngizowathenga manje usisikuki uyawadingisa. So even love making uzogcina sothe ayisigugile mandla 23 years. Awu ungathi uqala ukungibona unkuhlwa ngina. And what are you doing to this man? You are destroying him. He may be feeling at that point gore engathi ngiyakhula khula yazi hey Tumi 50 I wanna say sondel. When umetha 26 Aru 50 arme, yeah. Aya, emfazi wami. Aya, ikitsona wena sidudla sama akunalawo yakho. Because it's not about you having energy. It's not about you, but it is about love that enables you to do what you are doing with love. It's like you cooking for your family. When you cook with love, awuthi nje abana namhlanje anzodinwa mina. Abana hauna muthangu kwatisa yaka muthangu ngkhogo ayikenya mo pitseng. Ayibidisa ba ikenya sopo. I get na ke gola ke tseba sopo ia pa sopo ya bana sopo ke sopo nama ke na apeya nama you cannot unke nama e be life tso bila we kenya sopo bo tsholela batho wa bana ha o batla o phega gantle phega dijo ikemisetse. So it is about you respect your husband. You have given your heart to say, when I get married I'm going to make it work. I am going to yield myself totally to my husband. And then now I'm going to see to it that my husband and my children are well fed. It is my duty to see to it that that house is well kept. And the manners are instilled in my children. So as a mother, God has given you the strength to do that. Why am I talking to you guys as if you are married? Because I believe each and every one of you here has got a spouse coming. And I know the God that we serve is not a liar. And I know that we're waiting here and we are saying to God, these young children are waiting in you, God. And because you are not a God that lies, it is going to come to pass. Now, when you get into marriage, don't go into marriage naive. Because yabana ngesintu. That's why kuna lipinda mazulu chaza wana bana tababuya fela bare wa muhlu makoti asafika. Uzothanga jwayela. You know why? Because we think thina ukuthi mawushada uliso. Njani mama? Ayisikhona njani? People say, "Oh, we thulele mntana abantu thobile." Ha, babuya lele varidos. Ubite re go tla renga kena. I want to give people through you. My husband knows that I talk. If he was walking here, he won't be shocked and cry so.
So if you are pretending your husband or your spouse is unable to get you, uyayifuna lento ukuthi lo muntu kahle kahle yena self mangizothi ngiyamazi umuntu onjani. Bayabona? So give your true picture. Get into your marriage honest. Tell him everything. Tell him I'm here to stay. And I mean, I'm getting married not because of anything, but because ngisabu uNkulunkulu and I love you. And we are going to make this work. I don't know you. Yes, when two people bahlangana bangazani, there will always be things. Omunye athi ikipa zami ungazibeke so uzibeke so. Ulibalelwe na uzibeke so. Mara ska waraso ro lenyalo la fela. Go ntse go iwa. Hantso sela dikausu ra di sela le ka jeko after 24 years. Wa di sela dikausu because untso mandla. Ka nnete ngwana batho ga o ka nka fela wa ra o rola dikausu. Wa di kenya mo. Ara Tumi azi mara kuno kuthi ungibiza ngabe sozidopile ozifake. Eno abana do ke kwatile mara ke nnete. Gore ke molate ka ke be ke dikile fela ka dikeng. So gona le dilo tse ding ka nnete tse ile they are not worth go khosa nto. Gona le dilo tse o sa tlo di ratang, but you look at them and say tse ke di ratang di dingata tse ke sa rating di nyane. I can do with this. By the way, Luana, you are not an angel. I will tell you again about groceries. Shopping, but now, Tina, yeah, modern life is na ben. Nathi masishada ifike manje. Kahle kahle abo baba uyakushada mayiqeda ukukushada uhappy ukuthi umfazi wakhe. And then mawuso uthi hey bengithi siya kuphi kuphi uzonipha imali. Uyayithola ne? Yena wenza umsebenzi wakhe wenzeng ulifile chelete. Come with us entwakala. So rona asetsi le rato le retsa ke re anong kiki style ba tshwaketse tresuti tse tshwanang go 4 ways. We expect amandla gore 4 ways jwano. Ay Tumi awume uthi nenzani? Hayi bengithi ay okay when I know right andile. Hambani. Na ikhathi hambani. Hawudli. Batho mamudimu. Now when he comes because of hostility, here's what happens. And I think all of you have noticed that. You walk through aisles at the supermarket and you find batho munata tata lezinto ziyafana man. And musajara azifani. Azifani I'm still looking ariyazen ngiyahamba yadlala chips. Akutshela masiphuma. Tshelile ukuthi 3 o'clock uyaqala umechene ngizokushiya. Now, you love shopping. Take your kids with, go shopping, have a nice day. While shopping, if you decide to go to movies, go. And it, bicycle, we really bola, utandi bola. Lerato and marriage is not that. It's not about us doing the same thing every time. No. If you like going to the theater, go to the theater. He wants to go. You don't say to him, yeah, hey, ball. I wish you could kill a ball. You are stooping low. The way you know, you don't realize, so allow and know that we are bolong. Naki maybe kajoka kibat we hope kitlo ichebela the movie sileng I'm right. He needs space. There will be times where he goes for boyish whatever. I mean banna bakopana. You know a simple thing of fella right how even if unale your husband or your boyfriend or even your cousin brother if they are somewhere and you are going to meet people but different banna within 10 minutes elifita mo honale party they've clicked. Bakhuluma ngomsholozi bakhuluma ngebhola bakhuluma ngani again basadi bayemi basayizana up ukuthi I wonder ugqokeni I wonder ke ama China or fetsa khalang and then wa mona fela o kara ha di bone and I wonder monna ga ke ofeng and moshimane o smart for motho o ba eba ha o motsebe long before I di jodi tla ba shebana ba nqhaza mo ya no. Ka o fela re tle party and ana ne re ka tla party re sa tshwara ke tla DJ diatla, I'm fine. I'm fine, be too young to heal or ever get the right dish. I was tata later. How? And about to pass ever, wait till one house about what desire. O hated. How room for Enkala, it just sweetly say we tell a man's. I saw Ruin Wakamans. What is about Yena honey sugar? Even it came my emo. Corona 100% in Alemans or Huetakala. We are unable to be ourselves. To project a true me with no reservations. So we guard in our waiting, not to get into our marriages with baggages. Because lama baggages, masa ushatilas ovel. Masa feisa. Asa feisa na mushrooms. That is why at times when lama baggages are vela, your husband is unable to forgive you. Because this is something that you've been staying with for years. The fact that you're 10 years old, if you can keep such big a secret, then you can kill me. That is why you need to yield totally. Some things are embarrassing, but tell them to your husband. I am not talking about you telling somebody that no. If you are botile, tell unkulunkulu. You see, no, again, here's the difference. It's understanding what to say. Forgiveness, no. But I'm talking about things whether I like it or not, this thing is of vela. So before a vela guys, and then the relationship, it is companionship, right? You'll be amazed to how perfect. And you get into this together and you flow. So today, whilst waiting, don't forget it is not about you. It is you waiting to be somebody's. By the way, you are a woman. So how we prepare for mutu? How we prepare need? Because somebody is going to receive you. Let it be that when your father gives you to this man, when you stand before God, because on that day, in a church, you are standing before men and God. Let it be that you'll be telling God the truth. Because if there's a minute doubt, mo pelong ya gago, gore ai siyashata ngoba vele mari uthi yena umzalwana. I've lost 2 friends, true story. Bangabazalwana. Both of them got married this year, and the following year, both died. Is it because they were not abazalwan? No. But the 2 of them, when you check their marriages, both of them got married doubting. It was about date. Biological clock. Usban bani ngake ngajola naye ngamtshela ukuthi ngumzalwana uthe kimi ayisebenzi mina ukushada ngakushada net lo buzalwana mina ngithenga isweet elivalwe ngeplastic angihlanye so mina nawe uyangigaya nyakushada went to that habutse motho o tswa kae o tswa lefatse motla gagategile pu innocent muzalwana le yena a sa rarilo test and you die. Are we supposed to die because God says we perish because of, again, we can't. We must have knowledge. That is why we need to wait. That is why in our waiting, it must not be. Because what is the use of you waiting over 38 years, just when it's about to happen, over 39 years, and never. Brajo, Taya. Kana wari sweetie says ambarajo arlalela. Ngithe angithengi sweetie se plastic. Ay asiyeke brajo akusanani. Usho wanyala rai nje. Sihlike empedeni vela next week ikoko yini. Why did you waste time when you should have done this as a naive 19-year-old? Why did you wait just when it's about to happen? Why? Why lose the baton? Last minute. Because time is known by God. It was quarter to happening and you did not realize. Because you let your emotions overrule you. So we cannot have stories zabantu abavelelwa izinto ezingekho ezingafanelanga zivelele abazalwane. Not because they don't want to, because umuntu uyitshela ukuthi sengimile wabona la sethu gote go ayemiwa ya no. Batho ngiyemi. Ha sethu go nyala bo Petunia, and never. Petunia ona le 23 years. O di kene ka entsa Petunia. Go tlu mo Brajo o tlo le matsa. So a re tswe mo, let's stand, let's sit, let's understand gore modimo wa rona ke modimo wa nnete. Let's know that God will come. Why gona le story sa Sarah mo Bible? Why? At that age, story sa Sarah se ruta nna gore modimo is able. Ha go kgatalatsege. Ha se modimo o berekang ka matlho a modimo a bone aka la gago. And maybe God is preserving you gore o nyale late to have the best marriage ever. I was married for, do I even remember the years? But Andile, I've got 2 sons. My elder son was 10. And Kiki soccer player at ball from age Alamunian. So he started playing soccer, and as a mother, we eating to a Saturday. Andile asa ambesia a Southgate, and he started saying, "Ay, mama, you pay 2 rand minang bolo." And I felt, "How? Mandla Stadium, Andile ya bolo." I don't never told him. And then kid now I will get a troop, like whatever. But you know that yening, Yakobana Lungan, and and then I conceived, and then 3 months later, the fetus was aborted. I can't abort, I can't have our abortion banana or septic abortion. No. Body I reject and took abortion. Abortion I go straight but I can't remember so. Now, 3 months fine. Kiadula Jara, and then I conceived. When I conceived, I was 37 years old. And the devil would whisper, after in the 3rd month semester we are pregnant, and say, "Ha, where's the time to get come to pregnant with?" And I learned to pray. You know, I prayed. I forgot to tell you that I prayed before I conceived. I prayed to a point that whilst making love to my husband, I would disconnect from love making, but active again. But I would pray to God and say, "God, close my womb so that I may conceive. Please, I need another child." You need to have a fervent prayer about what you are praying about. And I had my child at 8:37. He's 9 now. He is not a Down syndrome. He's a brilliant young man. Exciting. Now I've got somebody that I take with a McDonald's. Now, why are you people panicking and saying, "Can I let 27? Can I let 30? Can I let 37? Why? What makes you think 30-something ikapalla mudimu? What makes you think that you are not going to conceive simply? Why is it that everybody becomes a doctor suddenly? And that's like, he's 35, but he's Down syndrome. But that's why batu bazala ka 16. Qualification in batu baruha batu ka age 14 batabantu inyumba. And then abantwana abancane they go babe neziso. Ha setsana le ngwana bedene wa itlogela utla una gana re ngwana ke mpopo. Goko ya no ntshwantsa mathi kwa se yena u lo Africa ya bona go taina ngondo. Why is it that you are allowing wrong things to be right things to be wrong? You are right, you are 30-something. Before God, you are young. Allow God and say to God, "This is for you, my Father. And direct me. Without you, I may not know what to do. So direct me, because here am I, and I'm still waiting." So let's wait in the Lord, knowing that we serve, and know that, Rona, we are daughters of the Most High God. And that our God is not a small God. Why? So when people walk and say, in your heart, you say, "Abangas." So you know, Rona, just when he says they know not what they are doing. In your heart, say they know not what they are talking about. If they knew who am I, they wouldn't say agashati. They don't know. Why? Confidently and knowing. When we trust God and talk to God and open our hearts, you see, we come with you. The nicest part is that, unlike a friend to right. To God, you can kneel down and say to God, nna mo etsa dibe modimo wa ka. Ka jeko, ke nna le mo pela hao. Nna ke nna modimo wa ka, ai ke o tshepang, because nna dibe tsa ka modimo di tlhatswitswe ka madi a Morena Jesu. What I did when I did modimo wa ka, wena Jehova lentswe la gago le re kaofela tseo di hlatswitse. Di rile ha ne di le khubedu, di hlatswitse because madi a Morena Jesu a hlatswa better than anything. And here am I today kneeling before you, my God, and saying, Father, I'm asking you for a nice, a husband. Modimo wa ka tsibuang kwena. I was excited. 2 weeks ago, ne re tlhabisa magadi a that young lady la mogopolo wa ha phahla. You remember the lady Nerma Peste Veil ko Pimville? Ne re tlhabisa magadi a hae. I understand. In September she's getting married. And she's another product. Yeah, bright in waiting. But what is all this? It is waiting, knowing. Because how only waiting in desperation? Ke mathata. Ka ran ntwen ona le mo desperate in a time frame. Gore wa bana ka fitla 39 ba kampane ba bua ngwana ene ke ametse ka re ba re never ka bana le ene ka foot. So mzalana a re tsomoyo. I am closing, and in closing I know that in your heart you are pleased. But in your pleasure after hearing this, make it a song in your heart to talk positive to you. To believe God, to say, Modimo wa ka, I know that your time is right. And I'm waiting in you. And whilst waiting in you, and even when my heart cries out and wants me to, I will not. For your sake, Father, I will not do it. I will stay with you, because from you, I can only get benefits. You see, our Father is a God that is unable to harm. He cannot harm us. We are made in His image. We are like Him. That is why when Jesus Christ went to heaven, He could not leave us. You see, the kind of love but He did not just go to heaven. He had blood in His hands, taken to God, so that He pleads our cases. So that when we pray and I don't know what I'm praying about, and I'm seated there and wonder, Morena Jesu covers the prayer. And God says when He looks at the blood, because that was a covenant made for you, in your mumbling, in your wrong prayer, it is right before God, not because you are right, but because my dear Morena Jesu, so understand and know that. Note where Morena Jesu is seated on the right hand of God, not fela mahala, blom. Where is in Nalwe? Because he did not die in vain. At the end of it all. You know the intention I normally say to people, it's like a puzzle, a popular puzzle. I think heaven is like that. I think in heaven, there are spaces that need puzzles to make this picture perfect. And if Nalwena we fail to go to heaven, that puzzle is not going to be a full picture. So in Nalwena we need to guard and say, I'm going to perfect the picture. I am going to heaven. Even if I'm pushed how much to be sinful, I'm not going to do it. Because I love you guys. You all look beautiful. God bless you.